Well, I was born in San Juan, Puerto Rico, um, and was on December 25th, 1948, Christmas Day. Stayed there during when I was a baby, I stayed there in the island. And then my parents, after some years, when I was actually like 4 years old, we moved to New York City, where I was raised mostly, um, and went to school, elementary school. Um, and my parents were both working at that time, so it was kind of a tough. When I was older, they split, they got divorced, and my dad actually took me back to the island with my grandparents from the mother's side. And then I went there, finished intermediate school, and then went to high school, finished my high school, went to college, get a degree on administration, and then started working. But before finishing my college degree, I was drafted by the Army, because at that time it wasn't voluntary like today. You have to go, you have to go. So I was drafted. I spent 2 years in active Army, first in Fort Campbell, Kentucky on my basic training, and then I went to my advanced training on artillery in Fort Sill, Oklahoma. But I also had what they call an MOS, which is your specialization in. As a truck driver, I was driving those 18-wheelers and pulling, the big cannons and that kind of thing, and also in kitchen. So I was a cook. I learned how to cook in the Army. After that, and finishing my regular Army, I went back to the island, but then I got into the Puerto Rico National Guard, where I spent 6 more years. Then I finished my college. Actually, I had to go out during nights, to finish my college. I started working and then finished my college degree in business administration. And then I started working in the electric company in the island. Like maybe 5 or 6 years later, I decided to go back to college and started studying industrial engineering. My dad passed away about 4 years ago. And back then, I started doing some research on my family roots with the help of some of my uncles from my father's side. And I found out that my family came to America from France. The Fontanes are originally from the region of Savoy in the south part of France. My great-great-grandfather was a physician that came to America in the 18th century, and he actually was traveling to America, but he ended up in the island in Puerto Rico, and there he started working for one of the Spanish landlords that has a big farm in the mountains in the island, and he fell in love with the daughter of this guy, and married her, and that was actually when our family started in the island. Well, yeah, traveling. I like to travel because I like to not only visit different places, but also different cultures, because they were so wide, so big, and there are so many people in this world, and we're all different. We have different culture with different food, different music, and I love to learn, about others. So I've been traveling, not the whole world, but I've been traveling in different areas like Europe. I've been in France, Spain, London, and Germany. And in South America, I've been in different countries like Venezuela, Colombia, and Argentina. I've been in Canada, of course, Alaska and Hawaii. And my last trip actually was, I've been in the Caribbean, the eastern part of the Caribbean, in the western part of the Caribbean. My last trip was to Australia. I went to visit a cousin of mine that lives down there in Sydney. So I went down there, I spent a very nice time down there. It's a beautiful and nice country. So Music, I've been playing piano, not much, a little bit. I mean, I'm still learning. An accordion that I have also. I play the accordion, guitar, a little bit too. I started with paintings in a very unique way because back about 5-6 years ago, I was looking for something to decorate my apartment. And I was, shopping around and I didn't find anything that really likes me and that I can afford. So I decided, one point I said to myself, well, why don't you paint you make your own painting, which I actually had a red comforter. So I was trying to find a painting with, that matched the colors. So I decided to make a painting of a flower, red flower, in a blue background with a ladybug. And that was when my first painting was born. I made that painting that took me, I don't know, maybe 2 months to finish. And then I look at my kitchen and I found the electrical panel cover, which is ugly, in the kitchen. I said, I have to cover that with something. So I made another painting, which is actually a glass of wine putting a wine with a bottle, cheese, grapes, everything. And I finished that one, and then I kept going, painting, making some other paintings. And up to now I have, I don't know, maybe 14 paintings already finished. I finished my last one like a couple of weeks ago, which is kind of unique because it's kind of a person, a lady, sitting in a place that you can see, but you cannot see it. It's like hidden in stripes, purple and yellow stripes, and it's very unique. It's part of my imagination working. My family, my kids, I got 4 of them. Actually, they are what I consider my greatest accomplishment in this earth. They're so good people. They're 2 girls and 2 boys, and have 3 granddaughters also. But my kids are amazing. They're so smart, educated, and kind and gentle, but also spiritual. I never grew up with my brothers and sisters because, again, my parents got divorced and my father remarried again. He had 6 more kids. My mom had another daughter, but I never lived with them, so I never grew up with them. And because of that, and in a way because of the way I was related, not only to them, but to my father itself, to my mom. We never had a regular, traditional father and son or parents and son relationship. I grew up kind of just alone myself, it was just me. The good thing about it is that I learned a lot about that situation. I learned a lot about how I felt. I learned about myself. And I swore to myself that I will never let my kids, my personal kids, have the same experience, that it wasn't that good for me. I never wanted them to go through that. So I did as much as possible to keep them all together all the time.